You said we were going to a place Walt Disney built.
No, Peter, I said supported.
Rachel Zegler's Snow White disaster wasn't just a box office flop. It's a full-blown Hollywood meltdown unfolding in real time. What Disney hoped would be a magical revival of a beloved classic has spiraled into one of the most humiliating public image crashes in recent memory. And the latest chapter? A savage Family Guy takedown that sent Rachel into what insiders are calling a full-on tantrum fit.
In the movie, they just got rid of the dwarves, but they have one token dwarf amongst these magical creatures. You actually just went backwards. You actually just erased the dwarfism side of it. The disability, like we're a disability group, you just erase that whole.
They say all you have to do to make your wish come true is let it echo, 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 echo.
This is just so typical of the left. The progressives always finding a way to find their way back.
It all started with viral mockery and parodies popping up online. But things exploded when Family Guy aired a ruthless Snow White spoof that took aim directly at Rachel's controversial interviews and feminist-heavy PR campaign. According to multiple sources, Rachel absolutely lost it. We're talking screaming at her team, panic calls, frantic message threads. She wasn't just embarrassed, she was furious. Why? Because this wasn't just a TikTok jab or a Reddit roast. This was mainstream television dunking on her in front of millions.
I sat through the whole thing. This was really bad. It was extremely leftist on every political dimension: racial politics, sexual politics, class politics, regime politics. Its narrative was cowardly. It was just awful.
It's awful, generic. Never mind that the lyrics make no sense at all. All you have to do to make your dream come true is let it echo. Is it like on a metaphor?
Part of the first, fairy tale ever told.
The timing couldn't have been worse. Disney was still licking its wounds from the Snow White box office disaster when Family Guy poured gasoline on the fire, and they didn't hold back. The show mocked Rachel's every move, from her cringeworthy press tour to her dismissal of the original 1937 film. They aired it all out, brutally and unapologetically. And when it aired, Rachel's team went into DEFCON 1.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird.
So apparently, according to them and according to the writers of Snow White, women can't even want to be in love anymore.
Disney deleted Someday My Prince Will Come and made a modernized feminist alternative.
Queen, playing the evil queen. It was pretty amazing.
Into this, the first villain Disney ever had. It's really getting myself into this big crown.
Her own PR team is scrambling now, trying to contain a fallout that just won't quit. But let's be clear, this isn't just about one parody. This is about an image completely imploding under the weight of arrogance, bad PR, and Hollywood delusion. Executives are whispering, is Rachel Zegler even worth the risk anymore?
I'm guessing that she's not married. I'm guessing that she doesn't have kids. The movie is a complete disaster, by the way.
So she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
She came out and she said, I apologize. Like, I went too far. But it wasn't
hardcore. They're petrified of some kind of backlash.
Broke out with this news, and I'm very, very, very excited and looking forward.
It's got extra musical numbers that are incredibly unnecessary that really add to that runtime. And let me go ahead and let you know that they're absolutely
So what exactly did Family Guy say that broke the internet and allegedly broke Rachel too? The episode featured Meg as a feminist Snow White marching through the woods, ranting about cancel culture, calling out the patriarchy, and insisting she doesn't need a prince. Sound familiar? It should, because it's literally what Rachel said over and over during her press tour. Word for word energy. Fans instantly connected the dots. Twitter or X, TikTok, YouTube all blew up. Captions read, Family Guy just ended Rachel Zegler, and Seth MacFarlane said what we were all thinking. And here's the kicker. Family Guy didn't even try to mask it. It was blatant. It was Rachel. That's when the reported meltdown began. Insiders say Rachel called her PR team in a fit of rage, demanding emergency statements, influencer defenses, and even recorded a now-deleted video response. Her panic? Real. Her ego? Allegedly shattered. Because this wasn't just a meme, it was Hollywood's confirmation that she's become a joke. Let's rewind. The Family Guy parody didn't come out of nowhere. It was the final nail in the coffin of a fairy tale gone toxic. Disney poured over $240 million, 0 cents, into this reboot. Massive global campaigns, top-tier marketing, hopes for a billion-dollar franchise, and yet, it flopped. miserably. Opening weekend was a ghost town. International sales didn't save it. Critics panned it. Audiences rejected it. And deep down, Disney knows why. Rachel Zegler. From day one, her PR tour was a disaster. She trashed the 1937 original, mocked the romance, called the prince a stalker, all with a smug, I'm fixing the patriarchy energy that didn't just alienate fans, it enraged them. Disney execs were reportedly horrified. They tried to reel her in, but by then the damage was done. Fans dubbed the film Not My Snow White long before it hit theaters, and after the flop, the whispers got loud. Talent agents started calling her radioactive, casting directors pulled out, rumors swirled that future projects were being shelved. One exec allegedly said she needs a win, but nobody wants to be the one to give her the ball. Then came Family Guy, and that quiet Hollywood rejection turned into a full-blown cultural takedown. The mockery wasn't just about Snow White. It was about her. Her tone, her arrogance, her inability to connect with the audience. People weren't rooting for Rachel anymore. They were rooting for her to be humble. And when Family Guy aired, that's exactly what happened. Social media turned savage. Threads resurfaced old interviews. TikToks spliced her quotes with a parody. YouTubers posted takedowns with titles like, "Why Rachel Zegler Flopped So Fast." One top-liked comment summed it up. She turned a fairy tale into a lecture and then wondered why nobody showed up. Internally, Disney is panicking. Reports say emergency meetings were held, future Snow White content frozen, merch partners furious. One insider claimed Disney is rethinking live-action casting entirely, avoiding internet personalities with baggage. Translation, Rachel Zegler became the cautionary tale, and Family Guy was just the exclamation point. What now? Well, her team is allegedly scrambling. There were pitches for charity appearances to rebuild her image, indie films to earn critical acclaim, maybe even a surprise Disney convention appearance to win fans back. But the problem, Rachel allegedly won't budge. Sources say she still thinks the backlash is exaggerated. She blames the media, thinks Family Guy bullied her. Instead of pivoting, she's doubling down. And in Hollywood, when you refuse to read the room, you don't get a comeback. You get replaced. This isn't just a fall from grace, it's a crash and burn. Rachel Zegler was supposed to be the one. Broadway darling, Spielberg's rising star, Disney's next billion-dollar princess. And in the blink of an eye, she went from A-list potential to animated punchline. This parody didn't invent the criticism, it reflected it. Loudly, cartoonishly, and worse, everyone watching instantly got it. Even folks who hadn't followed the Snow White drama laughed and said, yep, that tracks. When parody hits that universally, the fall is real, and the industry sees it. Rachel didn't just stumble, she imploded. And not because of some scandal or betrayal. No tapes, no sabotage. This was self-inflicted. Her downfall came from arrogance, tone-deaf press tours, and an utter refusal to read the room. She had everything: talent, studio backing, the role of a lifetime. But instead of leaning into the magic, she mocked it. Instead of inspiring, she lectured. And the audience walked away. Worse, the industry followed. Sources say she's quietly being blacklisted. Studios, silent. Merch partners, distancing. Agents, warning clients not to speak up in her defense. One exec reportedly said, "We can't afford to have her backlash spill onto our brand." Even her once loyal fans roasting her. TikTok edits, Reddit threads, YouTubers treating her career like a warning. How to lose an audience in 10 interviews or less. This isn't about one movie. It's about what happens when a star thinks the spotlight is owed, not earned. The real tragedy, she could have owned it. She could have apologized, reconnected, showed growth. Instead, insiders say she threw tantrums, blamed everyone but herself, and spiraled into damage control while still acting like the victim. Now, she's not Snow White. She's not even the evil queen. She's the girl who had it all and blew it. And the worst part, Family Guy saw it coming. Rachel Zegler's Snow White disaster isn't just another Hollywood fumble. It's the kind of scorched earth implosion that gets studied in PR boardrooms. You don't pour $240 million 0 cents into a legacy franchise, hand the keys to a rising star, and then watch it get torn apart on Family Guy unless something went horribly wrong, and trust it did. Because this isn't just about a flop. No, this was a full-on rejection from audiences, from critics, from the industry, and worst of all, from Disney themselves. Behind closed doors, studio insiders are reportedly furious. Executives are said to be reworking entire franchise strategies because of how toxic the Snow White fallout became. Some merch partners allegedly terminated deals early because products wouldn't sell, shelved, discounted, forgotten. That's the kind of commercial collapse that sends chills down any studio's spine. And now, Rachel isn't being seen as an actress, she's being seen as a liability. Let's be real, in Hollywood, image is currency. And once that currency tanks, you're out. Rachel's own words, her own interviews, her own attitude, they tanked her brand. She had the spotlight, and instead of gracefully holding it, she weaponized it, turned every press stop into a platform to bash the very stories she was hired to celebrate. Disney execs didn't just lose money, they lost trust in her. And Family Guy, they didn't mock her out of thin air. They dragged her because everybody else already was. They put the cultural truth in a cartoon mirror, and it landed hard because it was accurate. That episode didn't just roast Rachel Zegler, it erased her. Her fall from grace is so shocking because it was preventable. There was no scandal, no leaked text, no betrayal, just Rachel talking, smirking, and dismissing the magic of Snow White while trying to rewrite it in her own image. And the audience, they weren't buying it. Not the movie ticket, not the message, not the brand. Now, sources close to Rachel say she still doesn't fully understand what went wrong, that she still believes she was misunderstood. But it's too late. You can't spin a message when the message itself is the problem. And the internet? It's ruthless. They're not letting her live it down. One viral video has over 2 million views of Rachel's Snow White clips side by side with the Family Guy parody. The caption? Same energy, less budget. The comment section, brutal. People saying things like she thought she was giving feminist icon, she gave smug princess. Even her former defenders are quiet now. No one wants to attach themselves to a PR dumpster fire, especially one that scorched a $1 billion opportunity into ashes. And let's not forget, this all started because Rachel got exactly what she wanted. She wanted to be seen. She wanted to speak her truth. She wanted to shift the narrative. Well, now she has, just not in the way she ever imagined. Because now, she's not the Disney darling. She's not Spielberg's golden girl. She's not the Broadway breakout. She's the meme, the cautionary tale, the punchline. And every time someone watches that Family Guy scene, the wound reopens. The parody gets reposted. The story resurfaces. The brand damage deepens. Hollywood has moved on. And unless Rachel makes some serious changes, she won't be invited back into that spotlight anytime soon. At this point, producers are allegedly using her name in meetings as a what not to do example. Publicists whisper her downfall to their rising clients. Don't get Zeglered. Casting directors allegedly avoid her like she's box office poison. And Rachel still thinks she was done dirty. Maybe she was, but the truth is, she helped do it to herself. She walked onto that red carpet with a crown she hadn't earned, looked down at the people cheering for her, and told them their favorite fairy tale was outdated. She told them they were outdated. Now she wonders why the applause stopped. Because Rachel didn't just fumble the bag. She lit it on fire. She walked into Disney's legacy franchise and tried to reinvent it by trashing the original. She rolled her eyes at tradition, laughed off love, and acted like Snow White was her TED Talk moment. And now, even the cartoons are coming for her. The Family Guy parody will go down as a moment. Not just a roast, but a cultural timestamp of when the industry collectively said, yeah, we're done here. Because you know you've hit rock bottom when a cartoon character represents your entire press tour more accurately than you do. She didn't just lose a movie, she lost the fairy tale, the fans, the industry's trust, and worst of all, she lost the room. And in Hollywood, you never lose the room. Rachel Zegler had every chance to be a new kind of princess, but instead of wearing the crown with grace, she weaponized it with smugness. And now the mirror isn't lying, because the answer isn't fairest of them all, it's who all